Recently we planted some French beans, and I have said lots of times in past that French beans aren't very good with cold, and although the weather is picking up day and night, we've got one other little problem, and it can be a problem for quite a lot of plants. Some are more hardy to it than others, and that's windburn. If your plants are constantly hit by wind, what that does is it dries the leaves out, and eventually those leaves will become brittle and die. So then that plant's got to start all over again producing new leaves. Sometimes they do, sometimes unfortunately it could kill your plant. So I'm taking a little bit of a precaution today. I've noticed that we've got another 4 or 5 days of moderate breeze. So especially when it comes to French beans, we'll offer them a little bit of protection. And it's a simple, cheap fix. All we need is some cling film. And we'll pop some of this around those obelisks. But if you're not using an obelisk and you've got French beans in containers that you can't put in shelter, then just put a few canes into your containers and then you can still use this method, and hopefully those plants are going to pick back up. These are the French beans that we've recently planted, and you can see that on some of the leaves they're starting to wilt, and it's not because they need water either, it's because they've got windburn. So leaves like that are already no good. We have still got quite a few healthy leaves, but if you look at this one, you can see on the edges it's starting to get windburn. So we want to stop that before it gets any worse. And it's the same with these plants. If you can offer them any protection whatsoever, then you need to get that done. So I'm just going to tie it at the bottom of this obelisk. And then we'll just go around the whole thing, pulling it tight as well so it doesn't slip down. It's a little fiddly, but it's worth doing. So I'm just going to tie that off at the top. That is pretty stable, but we've now got that extra bit of defence, which is going to make all the difference to these plants. Doesn't seem to be bothering the spring onions though. You can see these are coming along nicely. They're not quite ready to move on yet though. I have also got something else that I need to sort out today, and that's these. That says homegrown sweet bell peppers, and we put a couple of seeds in each pack to guarantee we got at least one plant from each cell, and as you can see that's exactly what's happened. Some have got 2 plants growing in them, and if you want to you can separate these plants and pot them on individually. And you might remember we had one there that was quite leggy, and as you can see it's not got any better. So that one I'll not bother with, but the rest of them are quite stocky little plants. But at this time of year, approaching May, your peppers need potting on as soon as you can. Don't put them into massive containers though, for some reason they don't like that. I'm going to pot them on into these 9cm pots. They can stay in there until they're big enough to move on into the final pots, but while ever they're in small cells like this, they're going to grow quite slow. So another job for today, apart from sorting that wind problem out, is to move some of these on. I'll show you how easy it is to separate them, but I'm not going to bother separating them because that's plenty. But unless we move them on, they're not going to do much of anything. So let's get that done right now. So just to start off with, as an example, we'll take this one out that's got two plants growing together. You can see they're both quite healthy looking plants, but they are starting to build up quite a few roots at the same time. And the problem with growing plants like this for too long is they'll compete for nutrients. So you always end up with a plant that's weaker than the other. So if you want to separate your plants to get more out of your germination, all you need to do is very carefully break up that root ball and then take the plants by the stems and just give them a little shake. And that's how easy it is to separate your plants. You've now got two perfectly healthy pepper plants with decent amounts of roots on them as well. So all we need to do is fill one of his pots. And make sure you press this down as well. Peppers like to grow in a firm base, not loose compost. So having done that, I'm just topping it off. This compost is a little lumpy because I haven't sieved it, but it doesn't matter too much when it comes to actual plants rather than seeds. So now I'm just going to take this screwdriver, for want of something better, and make quite a deep hole. And then we'll start with this one, and we're going to bury some of that stem. So tuck that plant in there, get those roots right down, and carefully push it down as low as you want it to go. You can see just how much of that stem I'm getting rid of, and then I'm just firming around it. That's how deep I've planted it. We've now got a really nice looking stocky little sweet pepper plant. So same job again, nice deep hole, drop that plant in. You can use a pencil to push it down if you can't get it in to the depth that you want, but once again we've buried that quite deep. I'm just backfilling on this one. If I see any lumps, I just take those out. There you go, another really healthy looking little plant. And that's basically all we need to do. And I can see that in some there's a plant there that's not very healthy, so I'll just pinch the top off that one. The stems are quite strong on these plants as well. I've actually pulled it out rather than pinching it, but that just leaves us one. This one is not a very good plant, so I'll disregard that one. This one again has got 2 or 3, in fact it's got 3 in there. So get rid of the two smallest. Leave yourself 1 pepper and just continue doing that. That one that I mentioned earlier, it's way too leggy, it's no good, so I'm just going to get rid of that one as well. Same deal there, 2 peppers, 1 quite small, the other one looks really healthy, so pinch that off, keep the best looking one. And for this tray, that's pretty much it, but we've got quite a few really healthy pepper plants to go at, plus the 2 that we've already done. So all I need to do is carry on doing that same job until we've potted all these peppers on, and that gives them a new lease of life. So there we go, these peppers have been potted on. I've got a couple more left to do, but you can see that we'll have all those done in around 10 minutes, and these are going to now start and grow a lot quicker. Just don't leave them outside if there's any frost. Ideally, just keep them indoors if you live in a cold area, or pop them in a greenhouse and they'll soon start to catch up with those other plants. And on the other end of the scale, we have sorted that problem with that wind burn. It's something that a lot of people probably don't consider, but wind can do just as much damage to your plants as cold. You just don't see it coming until those leaves start to go crinkly on edges and discolour, and usually by that time it's too late because that leaf's already dying back. But if you offer that little bit of very cheap protection, your plants can bounce back, regrow new leaves and start to shoot up. And if you wanted to, you could keep wrapping that as that plant grows until we get to mid-May, and then we know the weather is going to be fine. Anyway, thank you so much for being part of this channel, really do appreciate it. If you want to see what else we're going to be doing on that lead up to May, then please hit that subscribe button, press that notifications bell, and I'll see you next time. Take care.